Hello guys, welcome back to the next tutorial. In this one, we're gonna start talking about variables a little bit and some objects and references and all those things. So without wasting time, let's get started. Let me just quickly open PyCharm. It is the tool that we installed as an IDE. So I'm just gonna type PyCharm and it should open my IDE. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new project so you guys can follow everything. So it asks me to select a location, right? Where do I want to store my project files and everything? So by default, it creates a folder called PyCharm project where it kind of saves all the Python files, but we can actually choose wherever we want to install, kind of save all those things. So I'm gonna just maybe you know what? Let me just cancel it out and let me open the Finder. And in the documents, I'm gonna create a folder. So I'm going to create a folder called workspace Python. So that's where I wish to have all those my Python projects and Python files. So I just created a workspace and gave it a name workspace Python and close the Finder. And you guys are welcome to just have your projects in PyCharm projects folder. It doesn't matter really. So, but I'm going to have it in my documents workspace Python folder. And after that, I'm gonna give the name Python tutorial, right? So this is the name of my project. So this is the location, right? This is the directory that I created, folder, and this is the name of the project. And it asks you to select the interpreter, which is gonna be out of your 2.7, 2.6, and the one we installed 3.5, right? You might have some different versions, but definitely 3.x. So I'm gonna select this one and click create. As soon as I do that, it gives you tips and all those things, which is nice. So I'm just gonna close it for right now. So Python tutorial is my project, right? So let's do the first thing. Let me show you a couple of quick things. So from the preferences, from editor, from general, not from general, but yeah, from colors and fonts, you can actually select different kind of fonts or themes that you like. So I kind of like this Monokai custom. So it's not custom that comes in. I actually customized this Monokai and I just increased the font size and all those things. So that's pretty much it I did. So if you expand it, you see this fonts thing. So if you go to Monokai custom that I have, so I have the font size as 14. I just want my eyes to be light on that. So it's just the same thing. I selected a different font called Monaco. If you might have different, so just feel free to see what fits you and select these. So let's do the first thing. The first thing we want to do is right click on new and a Python package. So let's create the maybe basic syntax because that's what we're going to learn first. Create a package basic syntax, and then we want to create a file and we're going to create a Python file, right? So let's give it a name called maybe variables, right? Something like that. And the type is, in Python they call it kind. It's a Python file. So click OK. It's gonna be a variables.py file, right? Here you go. So here's my file that's already created. Till now we were working on terminal and we were typing all those things there. We were using our virtual environment to get into Python 3.5, but since we selected the interpreter as Python 3.5, we're already in Python 3.5, right? So what we're gonna do here is let's start with some objects, some variables. So let's type a equals to maybe the name of the city called NYC. That sounds good, right? So what happens when I do that? What happens is one object is created, basically a hunk of memory, or maybe on the memory you can just assume an object is created, and the object contains the data called NYC, and then one reference is created, which is a, right? So it contains the count of the number of variables that that reference this object. So basically if I say b equals to NYC, right? So right now my object NYC has two references, one A and one B, and this count is known as it increases. If I say C equals to NYC, the count is going to increase to 3. So basically there is a symbol table that gets created, which consist of the object value and the references and the count of references, how many references my object holds, right? So that's what it does. So basically it's like a table, you can assume. So I'm just gonna put up a comment. This is, I'll tell about this later. This is a way to comment. So just assume that this is a table, and let's say object and reference and some count or something. You can just assume something like that. So that's what happens, guys, right? So in the symbol table, we created, it creates an object reference and all those things. It maintains it, right? So whenever the first object is created, the count is initialized to 1. The second one created, count becomes 2, and all. It just goes like that, right? Pretty good, right? So let's get rid of it right now, or maybe just move it to the top so we know what we're working on, so we can just follow, right? So let's put it there and put it here. So right now we created an object called NYC, 2 references, A and B, and all those things, right? So let's do one thing. Let's put A equals to maybe 1, 2, 3. And what happened when I did that? So again, a new object is created, and the data is 1, 2, 3 right now, and the data type is int, integer, right? Previously the data type was string because I put it in double quotes or single quotes. So right now new object is created, the value is 1, 2, 3, and the data type is integer, and it's assigned to the entry A. So what happened from the symbol table? So now my reference A, it points to this object 1, 2, 3 instead of NYC. Now it doesn't point to NYC, and the reference count for my NYC object, it is decreased. Now, it was 2 after A and B, right? As soon as I assign a new value to A, the reference count decreased from 2 to 1 because now only my B variable refers to NYC. So this is a basic principle of object and references in Python. That's what happens. And the value of reference count for 1, 2, 3, that became 1, right? So let's see, let's do something. So let's print out A here, and let's print out B here, right? Let's do that. So I'm just gonna save this file, and what I have to do is I have to create a configuration in order to run the file. So I just did this. It's this down arrow, click edit configurations, click on this plus sign, select Python, and name it something. Maybe let's call it variables. And this is my configuration. I need to select which file I want to run. So I'm gonna select the file called variables. That's what I'm gonna select. Click OK, and I'm gonna select what interpreter again. So Python 3.5, and that should be it. So just click apply, click OK, and the configuration is selected here in variables, and just click this run button. As soon as I'm gonna do this, it shows me the results in the console down here. So this is the console, guys. So first thing, it prints A as 1, 2, 3 and B as NYC, right? So let's play around. Let's print the A here, and we will see something different. So when I'm gonna run this now, it shows first NYC because it prints the value of A. The value of A was NYC, right? And now it printed 1, 2, 3. The value of A changed. It was running this statement, and then again printed NYC. It was the value of B. So that's what I was trying to say, that first A hold the value NYC, and then we changed the value, it became 1, 2, 3, and now A holds the value 1, 2, 3, and then B still holds NYC, right? So that's how it works, guys. So what happens when the reference counts become 0? Let's say if I change the value of B also. Let's do this. So B equals to maybe 4, 5, 6, something like that, and let's again print B. I'm gonna save it. It's gonna print this, right? 4, 5, 6. So when now the reference count of NYC became 0 because we changed the B reference also to some other object. Now this is a new object. So then Python is gonna hand over this NYC object to the garbage collector, and it's gonna put it there, and it's gonna just free up the space. So that's how it works. That's how Python manages the space, and garbage collection takes care of all those things. So I just kind of wanted to briefly talk about this thing right now. So let's take a couple of more examples and then we can wrap this up. We'll just keep it a little short. So let's create a C and let's call it NYC. I can just put it single quotes as well. And let's create a D and put it equals to C. So right now what I did is I created a C variable and gave it a value NYC and created a D variable and made it equal to C. So let's print if C is equals to D, right? So this is just a way to check if both of these variables are equal, and it should print true for us. And that's what it did, right? True for us. There is one more way to do that. It is just a brief introduction, guys. So I'm gonna check if D is C. It's like pure English language. What I'm gonna check is print D is C, if that is true or not. And I'm gonna run it and it again printed out true because they both are same, right? So that's what is interesting about Python. We can check about like this as well, and we can just write it kind of this as well. This is a syntax. So is like a equality operator. So we'll learn in more details about these things. Just wanted to go over this right now. So this is pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to explain the concepts of how objects and all those things reference are handled in Python, so you understand. And you guys must be noticing, right, if you are coming from a different language, that is, there's nothing needed. We don't need to specify int or string or something. Python is smart enough, it knows what we are doing. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just practice a little bit and come back to me if you have any questions. Stay tuned for the next lectures. We'll discuss a lot more about lot more detail about the variables. So stay tuned for the next lectures, guys. Thanks for attending this one.